Welcome to our 2019 group training at Paradise. We're excited to kick off our groups this year and excited that you're all going to be leaders and teachers in those groups. Just going to give you an overview of what we'll learn over the next 6 sessions, and then we'll dive in. In week 1, we're going to talk about how you learn best. And how you learn also matters in how you teach. So we'll discover what that means and how you can be a better teacher knowing how you learn. In week 2, we'll talk about some different methods that you can use to impact more people in your group and also to give the group their ownership of what's happening. In week 3, we'll talk about what the Bible has to say about learning, passing on knowledge, learning about where joy comes from, and why is it our job to pass on this knowledge. In week 4, we'll learn about how our group can be impacted by the people around us and how hopefully we'll be reaching out to meet those people and bring them in. Week 5, we'll talk about what happens when your group learns well and then actually begins to apply the learning that you have given them and that they have discovered together. Finally, in week 6, we'll have some evaluation techniques to know how your group has been impacted by the experience and to know some areas that maybe we could have worked better or maybe some areas that we were really great together. So let's get started. So here we go in week 1, and we're going to kick things off with an activity. Blindfold one person and have another group participant lead them through an obstacle course that you've set up. And this can be really simple. Just use some chairs and some furniture. Careful that the person leading makes sure to lead the blindfolded one away from the obstacles. And this is going to show, as we move into the teaching portion, this is going to show how the different ways that we learn can either help us to see and understand the material or hinder us from learning the material. And then we'll talk about 4 different styles of learning: imaginative, analytic, common sense, and dynamic. And we'll wrap up week 1 by talking about how your style affects your teaching. Finally, we'll go into some questions to think about and some discussion time with the group to talk about your learning style and things that you've learned today. In week 2, we'll take a look at Marlene Lefever's learning circle and how the 4 different learning styles interact with material and with each other. We'll talk a little bit about how you can use stories in teaching and different ways that you can reach your group. We'll also wrap up towards the end in speaking about group power and how you can give away some of the power as the teacher to the group to learn the material a little better and to engage things in a more complete manner. We'll finish up our time together with a test and a way for you to understand how you learn best, and so that you can begin teaching more effectively to other learning styles. Welcome to halfway, week 3. At the end of week 2, you should pass out some homework. Ugh, I know. In this, we'll ask people to think about the things that they know from the Bible, or maybe to do a little research in their away time to see what the Bible has to say about knowledge and teaching and passing on information through different generations. And then when we come back together during week 3, have smaller groups get together, discuss what they've found, maybe jot down some notes, and make a short little presentation for the rest of the group. Once that has finished, we'll talk about why it's important to pass on knowledge. We'll look at some scripture verses that make that clear. We'll talk about how the Bible speaks about all of life. And we will wrap up with discussing where joy comes from and why this mission is up to us. Week 4, we're going to begin talking about how your group might be impacted by the people in your neighborhood or in the areas where your group meets. And this is a great time to organize a dinner or some snacks or just a time for your group to sit around the table and spend time together. This is going to be a key way that we can engage our neighbors and people that maybe don't know who we are and what we're all about. And so it's a great opportunity for you to model that within your group. We'll talk about experiences, we'll talk about learning from others, and that really this all boils down to how well do we love those who are around us. Week 5. What happens when our group really gets the material that we're teaching? Well, it'll be about thinking well, it'll be about showing our real selves and our real lives. And this is a great time to have a little fun together. Hopefully your group has started to gel and has started to bond, and it's a great time to finish up by just playing some games. In this case, Uno, and you can play many variations of Uno, but just spend some time enjoying each other and knowing that this is what these groups are all about. Let's love each other well, let's enjoy our time together, and let's find some joy in being together with Jesus. Week 6 and our final time together. We're going to work on a service project in this week, and packaging food for the homeless or packaging food for underprivileged people around the world are some great ways to engage a project together. And then spending a little time afterwards. Don't let the project end when the last bag is packed and when the last table is wiped down, but spend some time afterwards together, thinking about, talking about, what did you experience? How did the group feel differently about what they were doing based on what we've learned together? And then let's talk about how we do that in our neighborhoods, in our church, and in our homes. How can we be family better together? Thanks for going on this journey with us for the last 6 sessions. I hope that you've learned something that doesn't just make you a better group leader and group teacher, but also impacts the rest of your life. Maybe you've experienced something that'll help you be a better friend. Maybe you understand the learning styles of your kids better and can help them with their homework. Maybe you've learned something about your neighborhood that helps you to know your neighbors and friends better and to better understand where they're coming from. These groups are our opportunity to really engage our community and to understand what's happening around us. Our mission as a church is to become more of the village that engages our community, that gives them hope. I hope that you have joy and that your group has an amazing year. Thanks for the investment of your time. Thanks for giving of yourself to your group. Remember that we are always available if you have questions or concerns or would just like to talk about how your group is going. Thanks for taking this journey with us. God bless and have a great year.